Begin on a ship in a rocket beyond the realms of logic. All it took was some belief, and now we're sailing through the stars. A cosmic tour of how we came this far. Beyond the music, past the page, between the lines, into the strange. Beyond the music.
Hey.
Yeah, y'all know it, man. You can't do nothing but vibe when you come in on that jam.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's power and presence, y'all.
Yes,
Back
yes,
again.
yes,
We
yes.
are beyond the music.
Yes.
It's your girl DJ Da Doddess, and I'm sitting along with my co-host here.
Rev Grimm, I'm in the building.
And
you
then
know.
we have here.
Yes, we have the lovely Gemmalyn in the building today. Real big community crusader. We are happy to have her. This is going to be a great show, great episode. You know, we always here to highlight our community crusaders, and Gemmalyn is front row.
Mm-hmm.
She's running it. She's running things. She's running the show. So, to the people that don't know you, and we know almost the world knows you, Gemmalyn.
Okay.
But this is a new podcast, Beyond the Music. So, introduce the people who you are.
Well, I'm Gemmalyn Hewlett. I'm the founder of Poolside Cooking.
Amen.
Yes. She's short and sweet and simple. We like that. So, tell us a little bit about Poolside. How did Poolside spark? Yeah.
So Poolside Cooking started back during the pandemic. Me and my daughter was running 7 businesses at the time. We had a cafe, a salon, a juice bar. Our main business was behavioral mental health. So we owned 2 group homes, and we was doing supportive in-home services. Okay. So at the time when COVID hit, we had to literally close 4 of our businesses down temporary. So we closed our cafe, our juice bar, our training center, and our salon. So here it is. I'm down to a couple businesses, which was one that ran 24 hours. Our group home doesn't shut down. Okay. So I had a lot of time in my hand. Okay. So here it is. I'm at home. In-ground pool, outdoor kitchen. I said, you know what? It would be nice to bring different chefs into the area, and let's do a poolside cooking. So I didn't think it was going to be on TV. I thought it was more of a social media thing.
Right.
And then it just became, once we put it out there, Sky 4, which was a local network here in the area, picked it up. They did a 30-minute segment on Saturdays at 11:30 a.m. And it started with there. Probably within about 6 months, we had News 3 watching us. So they said they've been watching us and wanted us on their network. So we started airing on WGNT 27. Okay, yeah. So it was like News 3. So it was WTKR, WGNT. So we started airing on that. And then Roku picked it up, which was a streaming network that was worldwide. They loved the cooking show. And we started airing on Roku, and now just got a distribution deal to air on Tubi and a couple other networks.
Yes.
We're blessed.
That's a heck of an origin story.
Right.
My goodness.
Did you think when you, like you said, when you first started Poolside, you know, you just doing something in the backyard, y'all just having some fun, like, could you just ever imagine? Because I asked all our community crusaders that, because their vision started here, and it just grew so much bigger than what they could ever imagine. You know, how does that feel to know that you're a visionary for this?
I mean, it was definitely a God's movement.
I'm telling you,
because I don't cook.
Right.
So for me to do a cooking show,
look at that.
That definitely was a God's movement. It was out of a dream, and
that's inspiration.
And I just knew to execute it. So the chefs, obviously it wasn't me since I don't cook, but I brought different chefs. So what I did was I wanted to highlight local chefs in our area that either had their own restaurant or was catering. Okay. So the main thing was to try to bring them in the front line so that way they can get more exposure. And then it was a cooking variety show. So we started bringing different guests on the show that would talk a little bit about their businesses. So it was down from politicians to nonprofit organizations, business owners, artists, anybody that was doing things in our community, I wanted to highlight. So here it was, we had a platform, and I was like, we're gonna take advantage of this.
Yeah.
Like I think they messed up when they gave me
right. They look, y'all gave me the feel. Yeah. You gave me the feel, and you put the fire to it.
Yeah.
We honor you for that because it's inspiration to anybody that has a dream. Everything starts small. Everything starts with a start.
Right.
You know, and you just started something, and it ended up growing. Now it's national.
Right.
You know, you around the world.
Exactly. And how would you say that that's like expanded your reach?
So,
your mission?
I mean, I love the fact that it grew. I mean, of course, with any business, you want to grow your business. You want to build your business. But of course, it's not something that you just talk about. Like you really got to put the work in.
Exactly.
So, you know, this wasn't something where we're going to say we're going to do it. We had to do it. Like we had to be committed. We had to be like it had to be dedication involved. It had to be the right people involved.
Right.
So it took a team to come together to actually see the vision.
Okay.
And the main thing was to just execute what you was doing. And you know, the one thing about what we was doing is that everybody that was involved, which was about 6 of us, we all had our own business or they had their own job on top of doing this. So the commitment that they put into this was like no other. So that's how you knew it was a God's movement, because everybody took the time once a week to go in there and film because of something that they actually seen. So, you know, it was a blessing.
That's inspirational. So we know that Poolside Cooking Show not only became popular in communities, let's talk about how popular it became in the prisons and how you end up doing the show in the prisons, how it became a fan base inside the prisons, and how you brought that change to the prisons from a cooking show. Like, this is monumental.
So you know how you go into something and you know not everybody know what their purpose is or why they moved into something. And, you know, Poolside Cooking, I didn't understand at first why I was running a cooking show, you know, because I had all these reasons to think, well, you know, it's not my dream to be a chef. I don't cook. So I'm thinking, you know, why is he putting me into this, into doing something as a cooking show? And so once I visualized it and I knew to just execute it and not ask any questions, I wanted to bring, I realized that the platform was created so that way we can highlight others. I felt like I highlighted everyone. And then all of a sudden here, comes the prison system. So I get a call one day and it was from St. Bride's, and they contacted me to ask me, would I be willing to speak at a correctional center?
Okay.
And I asked them, I said, you know, what made y'all pick me to speak at a correctional center? And they said, well, do you own Poolside Cooking? And I said, yeah. She said, well, everybody here watched the show. So I was like, wow. She's like, they wanted me to look for you and see if you would come out there and speak. And I was like, oh, absolutely. So so that was my first time going inside to be able to speak. And like they said, they watch a show. They can tell you every episode back from, you know, at the time for 3 years. So they can go back to 3 years.
I mean, how does it feel to just walk in somewhere that you wasn't even aiming for? Like,
it really felt good. But you know what made me even more proud? Because I do have a son that was incarcerated. When I started my business back in 2011, my son was getting in trouble. And at the time when he went in, we were struggling. House was about to go to foreclose. Electricity was getting turned off. Water was getting turned off. So him and 6 other kids went into a home and was going in there to, you know, to take some things. So I felt like at the time that my struggles is what got him in the position where he was at. So I remember when we went to court and the judge gave him 8 years, I literally, you know, I broke down but I got up and I said, you know what, either I can go home and feel bad for what's going on, or I can go into that office and still be an example to him. So that's kind of when I kind of went hard in business, because, you know, no matter what your struggles is or what you go through, you still want to be an example to your kids. So whether they went the wrong way or not, like it's still hope. It's still time to make a change and change things around. So I knew that I had to kind of go hard in business so that way he could see me from the inside of we was doing.
Right.
So a lot had to do too with him being incarcerated and not understanding, because it was hard. It was like me and him was speaking two different languages.
Yeah,
You know, he wasn't understanding how he felt. I wasn't understanding how he felt, and he wasn't understanding me.
Right.
So it just, you know, it was a system where he got in, and all I could do was figure out what I got to do to get him to see and make change.
Right.
But the beauty about it was that when I went into St. Bride's, that he was able to, he was, I think, at the Virginia Beach jail at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So they all watched the show there.
Wow.
And he was able to see.
Wow.
Okay. He was able to see that
Goodness.
I was going in and making a difference, and that
Right.
touched him, because that's what he felt like he knew.
Mm.
You know, that's what he felt like he knew. So I actually touched something that he felt like he can relate to. So,
That's great.
so all the things that we was doing, but it started really from me going in there doing a talk.
Right.
And then from there, I had a gentleman by the name of Sam Harris that had came home from doing 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he was somebody that was inside Lawrenceville that was watching the show and would send us letters every week.
Oh.
So when he came home, the first thing he wanted to do was contact us to see, you know, let us know, you know, just see poolside cooking.
Man,
he was watching on
that is
TV,
impactful.
You know, he could see it. So
Wow.
he was invited to go inside Lawrenceville, and he asked me if I can go in to speak as well.
Right.
So when I went in there, I spoke. And then one of the guys came to me and said, you know, we would love to do a cook-off with your chef, with Chef Wimbo.
Mm.
And I was like, well, I don't know if we can do anything like that.
Right.
You know, in here. I said, but then you know
That's
what?
tough.
I thought about it. I said, wait a minute, I'm speaking too soon. Like, I don't make that decision. Let me
Right. 'Cause
let
God
the
didn't
water
lead you
right
this
there.
far.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
God
right.
didn't bring you this far. You know what I'm telling
Was it all?
Right.
We're gonna have to try and see
Right.
what he
Right.
says. So
Absolutely.
I did talk to the warden, and the warden said he would love for us to do that, but it had to be, of course, it had to go to higher up.
Mhm.
We had to put some paperwork in place to, you know, to let you know, to state exactly what we was going to be doing inside. But he said, just send me something back. So we came back, me and Sam, and we put something in writing, and we sent it back. And then the warden kind of looked at it like, well, dang, they're really serious about this.
Mhm.
So he said, okay, well, let's take it to the next level. Let's see. We got to send it higher up. We got to send it to the governor, DOC. And I think within probably 2 weeks, they contacted me and said it's been approved.
Wow.
And then before you know it,
And that was the
he was
first time. That was the first time
Mhm.
a TV crew,
a cooking show,
a
at
cooking show.
that entered a
Wow.
prison and
Entered
did
a
a
prison.
cook-off between 3 of their residents
That
and our
is a
chef.
real milestone.
Yeah. So that and you know it went smoothly. It was beautiful, and you know, I was just blessed to be able to go in there and just put smiles on their face.
Man.
You know?
Right.
And so when we end up leaving there, you know, I just started thinking about all the things that we can do. I started
Right.
networking with people that was doing a lot of things with reentry and
Mhm.
all these programs that people was trying to do to make change
Right.
within the prison system. And I just kind of was listening, trying to figure out what I can do to get involved and all that. And then pretty much that's when self-destruction came.
Self-destruction. So was what about cooking up second chances? Was
So
cooking
Cooking
up
Up-
second
so-
chances something that you made off of being in the prison?
Correct. So
Okay.
what it is that when we're filming, we usually have a title for whatever episode we do.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is, we're entering Lawrenceville Correctional Center. So we came up, so the title was Cooking Up Second Chances.
That is a dope name, by the
Okay.
way. I remember the first time I seen it, I was
Mhm.
like, wow, cooking
Yeah.
up second chances. That's like the dopest quote I've ever heard somebody.
Yeah.
Because that was at, I think, Juneteenth. Y'all was at
Correct,
Juneteenth,
correct,
and you and Khalil and all of that.
Correct.
I was like,
And it was something like we all kind of came together to put something up. We wanted to
Right.
say something with cooking. And then, of course,
right,
we want to talk about something with second chances.
Right.
So, I mean, we had a guy
That's
over there
right.
that, you know, I had a friend of mine, Mario, did the logo. Me and Sam was like, okay, let's come up with some of these. And I was getting people involved to say, what can we title it when
right.
we're entering inside there? So Cooking Up
Right.
Second Chances was what it was.
It's a dope name. Dope
And
name.
then from there, it was just like everything was God's work. Like
Right.
we was able to come up with bringing the food. Of course, it was dealing with food service there to talk about what we can bring, what we couldn't bring. It was
Mhm.
equipment of the filming, the DJ equipment, the ingredients. So it was a lot. It took us probably about a whole 3 weeks to process and get everything together. And then
I helped out.
to bring it
It was
in.
dope.
Mhm.
Even the behind the scenes, putting it all together, y'all putting all the
Absolutely.
cooking supplies together and everything y'all needed for the prison guests. And
Absolutely.
it was
lot
a
involved.
real
We won't stop.
movement.
Yeah.
And I can say that's why we have you here today, because you are a true community crusader, because you put that together.
Well, it took the community to put together.
Right.
Like anybody can put something in place, but the key is to execute.
Right.
So, he just knew who to put in place to say, look, this is what we're going to do.
This is what we're going to do.
Because I'm the chick that's going to take it to the finish line.
Right.
I mean, it might be slow getting there,
Right.
but we're going to get there. Okay? We're going to get there.
Amen.
So,
We're gonna take
and
that
that's all it was, and it was just bringing everybody together to see the vision of what we was doing.
Right.
And just making it happen. So, it was, I have to say, everybody came together with this,
Teamwork,
Yeah.
community. That's what it's all about community. What does exactly does Cooking Up Second Chances consist of? What does it do?
So Cooking Up Second Chances is now, because that episode became so big with entering a prison. It was probably one of the first in Virginia to be able to enter a prison behind the walls to do what we did. I had a gentleman in there that said they didn't think a cooking show would change his life. And then, of course, with the cooking show, with it airing, a lot of people's watching the show. So now we're able to kind of send messages, like we're able to make shout outs.
Right.
We able to let them know that, it's okay.
Somebody
We still
out here
thinking
for
about
you.
you.
Somebody out here for you.
Matter. They feel seen.
Right.
Absolutely. So, and it just didn't stop from there. Like I said, and then Cooking Up Second Chances, with that, I just took that to another level. We getting ready to do a cookbook.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about
called
that.
Cooking Up Second Chances. And the cookbook is going to be, the recipes is going to come from everybody in the prison system.
Yes.
I want their swole recipe.
Right.
I want their recipes.
That is dope.
I want them to feel like they're a part of the outside.
Right.
Like I don't want it to be
They're not forgotten.
divided.
Right.
They're not forgotten.
Correct. So I felt that, okay, let's do the cookbook. I want them to participate by giving some of the recipes that they do inside. I want them to be able to do a page of their bio of, just how they feel, or, just some of the things that they can speak on to let the outside know
the
that,
things that we don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things.
Of course, with approval of the,
Right.
the facilities,
Right.
but at the same time, we just want to keep it positive. We want to let people know, like, this is their chance to be able
Right.
to let somebody else know and help them, to tell them you don't want this.
Right.
You don't want to come up in here. So it was important, like their words matter. And so I definitely wanted them involved.
Right. That's dope. That's dope.
Wow, that's amazing.
How does it feel to
That's
be
amazing.
the top queen? I'm serious though, because when you make these what would I say, when you make these accomplishments in life, people don't understand like the backdrop and the struggle and what it took for me to be this strong power move. You know what I'm saying? What would be advice that you would give to young people that have dreams that are so, you felt like it was small? You was like, oh, just cooking show in the back.
Right, you had all your other things going
Right.
on. You named a list of businesses.
Right.
Oh, I just started doing this during COVID.
Right.
Well, I think, one, remove the title.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
remove the title, because at the end of the day, it's only one person in charge, and that's going
Right.
to be him.
Amen.
And focus on the plan. Focus on what you're trying to do. Okay, because everybody has their purpose.
Right.
I remember somebody had once told me, "Jem, you're so blessed." I'm like, baby, we all blessed.
Right.
You just have to tap in. What
You just
God has
gotta
for
tap
you.
in. Yes. Yes.
So we have to understand that we all have a purpose.
Absolutely.
And just move on that purpose. Just move
Right.
on that purpose. It's real simple. Like, I don't worry about titles. Like, when you hear boss or when you hear leader, like I get all that,
Right.
but at the end of the day, just do the work.
Exactly.
Right.
And you will see the results. Everybody
So get it
focus. Yeah, everybody focus sometimes on the wrong things. Like when I started business, I used to hear people say, well, my family, they ain't supportive. My friends don't support me. I said, what? Don't worry about it.
Right.
I said, you focus on the business and the support will come.
Right.
And usually it comes from strangers.
Right.
So
Right.
don't worry about who's not supporting. You just focus on the plan
Right.
and with the movement and what you're doing. It's just
Right.
like even with the money. Like, stop worrying about the money. Stop focus on the money.
Right.
Like, stop putting the money
Absolutely.
before the
The
business.
mission.
We
Yes.
talked about that this
And the
morning.
money will come.
Right.
The money will come.
Right.
So, so that's what I focus on. So when I
Right.
do things, it's not, oh, this is jumbling or this is, you it was a movement thing. Everybody was involved. All I did was initiate it, and I knew how to execute it.
Amen.
That's it.
Initiate. I
A
like
team
that.
moving for community.
Somebody has to initiate,
Right.
you know. And talk about initiation. You initiated the self-destruction, right?
Correct.
Self-destruction, stop the violence is a movement that's going on right now in the 757. It's headed for self-destruction. And a lot of people in the community has been a part of that. Let's just go ahead and launch off on how that started. You know, how did that branch off?
I mean, it started back January 15, 1989.
You're right.
I mean, that's
shout out to KRS-One.
Yes, I mean, it was stopping violence in the urban community.
Right.
We're seeing the same cycle. The cycle didn't stop, and so we gotta remember that we gotta keep it going. Like, don't start a project and then end it. Like, we need to start a project and find out what we got to do to keep moving with it.
Right.
So stop the violence. All I did was say, you know what? We're seeing a lot of senseless gun violence in our community. Let's redo the self-destruction song, do the remake, bring artists together, do it VA style, and
VA style.
And what's the best way to get through the youth? Through music.
Right.
So if they don't understand nothing else, they're gonna understand when they hear our lyrics.
I'm telling you.
So, and that's all we did. So we brought 11 artists together. We brought all the organizations out there that was doing things with Stop the Violence. And these are people that dedicated their lives doing, because they probably lost a loved one from gun violence. So we just brought everybody together. One of the things that I know I wanted to do was go into the prison and get 2 of the residents there involved.
That was fire. I thought that was dope. You know, you're crossing barriers and building bridges where it's a new bridge. You know, it's a new barrier being broke. And I know that them inmates are very thankful for even being able to be a part of the project. I knew they never would have thought, like, I'm going to be on a national star music video. Right.
You know, that was big, but you know, their voice matters.
Absolutely.
Like, if I'm going to hear from somebody, I'd rather hear from somebody that's been there, done it, and is still in there.
Absolutely.
So when I tell you that I needed them to be a part of this Stop the Violence movement, and that's what we did. We had to go through the process again of getting the approval. You know,
shout out to Lawrenceville for that, man.
To Lawrenceville, we love
shout out to Lawrenceville for the opportunities. The wardens. I watched the video. He was excited. He was very live spirit. And it's just good to see, you know, because the system has a lot of bad rep, and a lot of bad things in and out. So, you know, it's good to see light. Be able to come in there and bring positive energy. And I know they was thankful for y'all energy.
They was very thankful. I mean, even them says, I mean, you talk about men that have been locked up for 30, 40 years that said they never seen nothing like this happen. They never seen somebody coming in there and think about them. So that right there probably made me cry for a couple of hours. I know. Because, you know, you just know that's when you know you're doing God's work.
Exactly.
You know, and so it was very touching. I'm glad that they was able to be a part. I'm very, very grateful that we was able to get the approval from higher up, that they was able to see the vision as well.
Shout out for letting us have these opportunities.
Wardens, DOC, governor, whoever had their hands on this and approved it. That's where the power came from. And so when we was able to go in there and do that, you know, everything just kind of clicked, went together. Matter of fact, the episode we not only we didn't stop from there, but we did a documentary to talk a little bit about showing inside of them, going in there, videotaping and filming their part of the video. And
that's coming, right?
That's airing tomorrow. That will air tomorrow on WGNT. 27 at 8:30 a.m. and then it will drop on Roku that evening.
Okay. Well, let the people know, you know, what they will see from self-destruction, second cooking up second chance poolside and a full, like, what's something that they're gonna see from y'all for 2026.
What you're gonna see,
be looking out for.
You're gonna see behind the walls. You're gonna see things that we don't see, and you're gonna understand why we need to all come together, to support.
Yes.
Okay, because they deserve second chances.
Yes.
They deserve second chances.
That,
and,
so
you know, we all made mistakes.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm not perfect.
And everybody didn't get caught. So
right, not everybody
somebody gave somebody a second
chance.
Nobody
should take, you know, nobody's a whole life shouldn't be taken. Nobody should be doing 60, 70 years from the time they was 15, 16.
Right.
I just, you know, they deserve second chances. And I think that when they see behind the walls of what was done and their heart changing and the mindset, that people will get a better understanding versus just looking at one-sided. You know,
you might change the system, Jim. You never know. Everything you've changed so far, you might change the system. You might.
For sure.
Who knows?
So how can people follow you, support your mission, and get involved?
They can follow us. They can pull up Poolside Cooking. We're on all social media. You can go to the poolsidecookingshow.com. We have a website. The Poolside Cooking Cafe will be open next month. Right now, we've been open for events, but the community can now start coming to the cafe and just enjoy the meal that you see on TV.
Right.
You know, and it's just a whole vibe. I mean, anytime you eating by the pool and you're connecting and networking and just the vibe is there. You know, we want it. So we, you know. I just, you know, it's not the club, it's not the lounge, it's a whole poolside vibe.
It's a vibe.
You know, get some good food.
Some positive vibes, some good energy, and some good food. Shout out to Chef, because I'm telling you, I ain't never been to poolside and have me a good meal.
You know,
smacking on my thing.
And then if you don't come to the cafe, just watch us on WGNT, Roku, soon to be Tubi, Awesome. And whatever networks, because we ain't stopping.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. And this is BA,
okay?
That's right. From the two up, two down. You already know it's your girl, Jimmy. She's in the building, Poolside Cooking Show.
Thank you so much.
We're about to go to break. We're glad to have her. She is a community crusader. You know, here at Beyond the Music, we love to highlight our community crusaders. The same way she has took time out to highlight others and care about others. This is a platform now that we do the same thing. We highlight the people that are highlighting others. And that is our mission, to make sure that their words and their mission is being carried out too. And we thank you for Beyond the Music. We're about to go into a commercial. When we come back, we'll be having no other than our geopolitics, Black Crazy, and Norfolk CPA with our financial advisory. We'll be right back with you.
Bless up. That was a beautiful segment, man, with Miss Gemma, personal friend, a great leader in our community. And the self-destruction, man. Yes. Self-destruction, man. We headed for that if we don't make some corrections in our community, and soon. You know, that's why I want to talk about. Oh, as a matter of fact, pardon me, it is Black History Month, so happy Black History Month to everybody. And just as a foreword, you know, Nelson Mandela once said, education at the highest level is the key to our freedom, right? Here are two great African leaders who fought for our freedom, and finally was able to eventually get their country liberated. Patrice Lumumba, Prime Minister of the Congo, and Ahmed Sekou, who led Guinea to independence from France. I mentioned these two people, man, because we're in a time where if you are an American citizen who hold your citizenship and have all your necessary paperwork to get your passport, I'm appealing to you. Please get your passport. Get your passport. The ability to travel is the most free that you will ever be while being alive on this planet. If you have your ability to travel, then you don't have to listen to the lies that are being told by whoever. You could go travel and see for yourself. I advise all my peoples to travel the world and see what it is the world has to offer. Take a look at some of the places where they may say it's communism and the people aren't happy. Go look for yourself. Go look at some of these countries where they said there's no democracy and it's working great. Look at the other forms of governments that they have in the world so you could understand that the whole world doesn't have to be built on democracy. Democracy is a choice. And when executed the right way, it's a beautiful system. But when engineered the wrong way, then it's just as bad as communism or any other ism. So I advise my people, if you are able to get your passport, then you should strive to get your passport. You should strive to go and look at the wonderful world. And maybe doing while traveling, you will find a place that is perfect for you. You never know. You know, keep your mind open. Have an open mind. And just know that the planet of Earth belongs to you. You know, I'm sure if you believe in the Creator, I'm sure when the Creator was creating mankind, he didn't say, okay, you only supposed to live on this little square. I'm sure he had every intention that mankind would populate this earth on every corner. And I'm quite sure that while populating the earth and living in places, I'm quite sure he wanted you to see the abundance of glory that's herein, right? So let's not shortchange ourselves. I implore us to do more research, right? I'm asking that as we move into this 2026, we begin to do research, because this is a time when information is right in our hand. We hold it right here. So let's use this computer and let's research and understand the information that's being given to us and why, right? Understand why this information is given to us, what kind of disinformation, and the reason for it. Because when we begin to understand the core root of information, when we understand all of the different sources that come to us that are sometimes contaminated or coming to us for the wrong reasons, you know, sometimes messed up information is meant to come to us. You know, sometimes information comes to us to distract us away from the truth. So we have to keep our eyes open at all times. Have an open mind, but stand on something. Have some moral position in which you stand firm and you will not be moved, because you know right is right and wrong is still wrong. Sure, there are gray areas, but for the most part, you internalize. You know when the thing is really right and you know when the thing is really wrong. We know when there's massacres going on around the world, that's really wrong. We know when there are people such as the United Nations who are able to stop these things, but they don't. We know what right looks like and we know what wrong looks like. This week, Africa finally got a bill across the desk of the United Nations where we would be looking at colonizing as a crime. Colonizing is a crime. So many of these governments who still in these modern times wish to colonize countries with their imperialism should be perhaps brought into a court of law. And I will leave it right there. What do you think? Do you think countries that show no impunity in taking others' land should be punished? Think about it. Research it. And tell me if countries should have their sovereign rights violated. Are you sovereign? Have you thought about it? Do the research. So until next time, I just want y'all to have a great February and understand what Black History Month is all about. Research, research, research. Teach yourself what they won't teach you. And until next time, peace and blessings.
What's going on? This is Norfolk CPA. I'm here to give this financial, business, tax-related education moment. You know who I want to speak to today? I want to speak to the home-based business owners. I want to speak to the folks that are in the network marketing industry, the MLM industry, multi-level marketing, or anyone just with a general home-based business. Why do I want to speak to you? Because I want you to know that you got a lot of tax benefits that you can take advantage of. So let's just run through them. So for all my folks in the network marketing, so folks like, what is network marketing? You know, companies that have a distribution channel that allows you to get other people involved and we can make money. So you got companies like Amway, for example. But in such organizations, typically, you're going to pay a ongoing setup fee. When you pay that ongoing setup fee, guess what? That's a tax write-off. You may have ongoing subscription fees. Guess what? That's a tax write-off. Generally, anything that is ordinary and necessary in your business that you are spending monies on, guess what? That's a tax write-off. So, and you're operating out of your home. So here's some of the advantages. Ordinarily, for folks who are not home-based business owners, you don't get to write off things like any part of your utilities, any part of your rent. But guess what? For the home-based business owners, you get to write off some of your rent. You get to write off some of your utilities if you have some things in place. So the first thing we want to do, we want to have an exclusive area where we are primarily doing all of our business functions. So it could be a home office. For folks who have physical inventory, you may set up a separate bedroom that houses all your inventory, separate business, a separate bedroom that is your exclusive office for what you're doing for business. And so what we'll do is we'll take the square footage of that exclusive area that you're doing your business out of, whether it's your office, your product room. We're going to take that square footage and we're going to divide it by the total square footage of your house, and you're going to get a ratio. Well, with that ratio, we can take that ratio and we can apply it against our rent. So let's just say that ratio is 25%. If your rent's $1,000, now I can write off 25% of that rent, $250 a month on your taxes. If your utilities, let's say, are $200 a month, again, 25% of 200 is what? $50. These are additional write-offs. In addition, We know that if we are using our cell phone for business, we're writing that off. So you got that $200 a month cell phone that you're doing exclusive business on, we can write that off. Your internet that you are doing for your business, you're not using your internet for personal reasons. We're using it for business. Guess what? We're going to write that Cox cable bill off, that T-Mobile bill off, the Verizon Fios. We're going to write it off, right? Again, a lot of things for home-based business owners that we can write off. Did you know that you can hire your kids in your business and pay them up to a certain amount where it is a business deduction for you, untaxable income for them? Did you know that? Don't give your kids allowance. Put them to work. And then you can save less to the IRS. Get that tax deduction so you can hire your kids in your business. No more allowance. We're going to get them to do business functions, administrative things in our business. All the kids probably know how to do the technology better than you. Have them, do your video, your social media. We getting a tax write-off, right? So we hire our kids. We're going to take part of our utilities. We're going to take part of our rent. Of course, we're writing off our cell phone. We're writing off our business internet. Did you know every 2 miles that you drive, you get $1 deduction? So I'm going to need you to keep track of your mileage. Keep track of your mileage. I think there's vehicles like Mile IQ, Track My Mileage. Keep track of your mileage because those things add up. It's not unheard of for some folks to have maybe 15,000 miles, business miles that they're allocating. Well, that's going to be at least around a $7,500 tax deduction. These things can add up, folks. When tax time comes and you want to go see your favorite CPA, which is me, Norfolk CPA, or if I'm not your favorite CPA, you go see whoever you're going to see. You're going to pay them a fee. Guess what? That's a tax write-off. If you want to learn more about your business and how to take advantage of your business, write-offs, or just get business consultation, you want to treat me to dinner? Guess what? That's a tax write-off. So for home-based business owners, what I also would tell you is stop going on vacation. Instead, plan business travel trips where you happen to do some vacation after you put in your business day. That way we can write off our airfare. We can write off our hotel 100% if you follow certain guidelines. So I know there's folks that are in the travel agent business as a home-based business. You know about this, and you should be writing these things off. And if you're scared that you haven't taken advantage of everything that you can take advantage of from a tax standpoint, guess what? I am here to help you. I want you to reach out to me. I can be found on Instagram. I can be found on LinkedIn, on Instagram at Norfolk CPA. Facebook at Norfolk CPA. DM me. My cell phone's out there. Call me. Guess what? My email is out there as well. If you're on LinkedIn, I am on LinkedIn. Find a way to connect with me. I'm here to help you because Norfolk CPA wants to help you pay less to the IRS. Norfolk CPA signing off.
We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Norfolk CPA is always a blessing to have you on the show, to have you as a part of this show, to have you a part of this movement, because our people need to know about their finances. They need help with, business and taxes and things that we're up against, the challenges of finances. We really appreciate you being a part of this show. And we are going to close out on Beyond the Music today. Today we had Gemmalyn on our show from Poolside Cooking Up Second Chances, founder of Self-Destruction. She is a real queen that is out here doing big things in our community, and we honor her. We give her our big claps and thank you for the things that she's out here doing in the music. Y'all make sure y'all tap into her if y'all want to do anything in the community. Tap in with poolside, tap in with the ministry that she's doing inside of the prisons. Y'all get with Jim, man. And y'all make sure y'all stay tuned on Beyond the Music. Y'all already know how we coming, DG, the Goddess, and Rev. Y'all make sure y'all stay tuned, man. There's a lot coming up next episode. Till then, like, comment, share, subscribe. Stay tuned. Blessings.